What is reconciliation in slipspace travel? Mantle's approach emerges from slipspace, engulfed in an aura of causal reconciliation. While faster-than-light travel is bound to generate chronological and causal paradoxes by nature, ships traveling through slipspace rely on a self-healing effect of spacetime called reconciliation, 24, more formally known as causal reconciliation or particle reconciliation, 26, to eliminate any paradoxes that may otherwise occur. The severity of this effect, which scales in a non-linear fashion, is determined by the amount of discrepancy in information transfer between locations, as well as strain on the local spacetime brain, as opposed to the apparent length of the voyage alone. Mass, or size, is also a contributing factor, at least in the transport of abnormally large objects. The Forerunners were forced to place significant importance on this phenomenon due to their routine galactic scale travel. For example, reconciliation has a limited range and time dilation effects may occur if a ship performs a very long jump. The Forerunners prevented this by completing unusually long slipspace journeys in a number of individual jumps, allowing reconciliation to take effect between each. Despite the limitations it placed on them, the Forerunners could also control reconciliation to an extent, enabling them to use its effects against their enemies, hampering and even cutting off their channels of slipspace travel. Early on in their history, the Forerunners used time-phased mirrors to reconcile spacetime on a large scale. The Forerunners also employed the Overwatch network to monitor interstellar traffic as to prevent the build-up of reconciliation debt. 33. Reconciliation has a budget. Extensive slipspace travel exerts strain on spacetime on a large scale as causal paradoxes accrue a debt. When these after-effects build up, it can impede with, or in extreme cases, entirely halt other superluminal traffic and communication. Slipspace returns to its normal state as reconciliations are allowed to take effect, gradually causing the spacetime debt to disappear into the quantum background. This effect is noticeable if large amounts of mass are transported over long distances frequently, slowing down slipspace travel throughout the galaxy and requiring ships to perform more individual jumps during a journey. This was seen when Master Builder Faber used slipspace portals to transport the Halos, 29, or when the Audacity traveled to the Large Magellanic Cloud. The latter voyage demonstrates the non-linear scaling of reconciliation, although physically shorter than the trip to the arcs. For example, the other factors involved led to the journey being the most challenging one in the Forerunners' recent memory. Elaborate slipspace traffic management by the Ecumene's Overwatch network authorities never fully mitigated the effects of their civilization's abuse of slipspace, which restricted their military options during the early years of the Forerunner Flood War. The effect of reconciliation works both forward and backward in the linear time of our universe. By the final weeks of the Forerunner Flood War, slipspace had already stabilized almost completely due to the galaxy-wide cessation of slipspace travel, which would shortly follow with the activation of the Halo array. Reconciliation is briefly experienced once a ship returns to normal space, and manifests as a shimmering blue glow radiating out of the ship, and static electricity building up in the occupants' bodies winking sad smiley 25. On extremely long jumps or in strained slipspace, the effects experienced by the occupants may be significantly more severe. With Forerunner ships, the effects of reconciliation are clearly noticeable for several seconds after a ship exits slipspace.